Howdy readers, I'm Jason. This is Chapter and Verse, and this is my first update on my March of the Mammoths journey. Now, just real briefly, for those of you who don't know what March of the Mammoths is, it is a month-long readathon in which we read books that are 800 plus pages. You'll see loads of videos around BookTube right now, in this corner of BookTube that is. Literary BookTube or BookTube 2.0 primarily. And I'm co-hosting this event with Lukas from Totally Pretentious and Alex from bigalbooks. Lukas is reading the Mahabharata and I think the Decameron, although he may be changing his mind on that second one. And then Alex is reading the Juliet Barker Bronte's biography, Les Miserables, and The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. I am reading just one because I'm a slow reader, and I am reading 2666 by Roberto Bolano. This is the first of the 3 volumes in the box set of it that I have. And I'm a little bit behind. I didn't get a jump on this until I think Thursday night or even Friday maybe this last week because I hadn't finished The Pigeon Tunnel by John le Carré yet. I was hoping to have that done by the end of February. That did not happen, so I spent basically the first week of March just plowing through that book. So I've really only been reading 2666 for like 2.5 days now in earnest, but I'm about 110 pages in so far, and I'm really liking it. It is less intimidating than I thought it was going to be. Now, I haven't obviously gotten to part 4 yet. Part 4 tends to be the section of the book that really frightens people off. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it thus far. This first section of the book feels very reminiscent to me in some ways of A.S. Byatt's Possession. So a kind of tale of literary scholars who have this kind of mystery that they're trying to solve, right? Who is this Archimboldi, right? Who they're also passionate about. And where is he? What's he all about, right? I mean, nobody's even really sure what he looks like. It makes me think a little bit, actually, of Terrence Malick, who is my favorite living filmmaker. And after Terrence Malick made his first 2 movies in 1973 and in 1978, he went completely off the grid. There were rumors that he had died. Nobody knew where he was. He was teaching philosophy, I think, in Paris or something between 1978 and 1998, which is when he released his 3rd film. So he was completely off the kind of pop cultural radar for 20 years. And then he emerged, right, with what I think is the greatest film of all time, The Thin Red Line. There are definitely echoes of Malick, I think, in this as well, and the mystery that surrounded Terrence Malick when he kind of dropped off the map. It's difficult trying to pin down what I feel like the book is about. It's made a little bit easier by the fact that I know a bit about what goes on later in the book. Like I said, the 4th section. And so I'm trying to spot things, I suppose, in this first section that might be, I don't know, kind of resonant for the later sections, right? So, for instance, that 4th section, from all I've read about it, and I've read a number of reviews of this book over the years, that 4th section of the book is going to be detailing in a kind of, I don't know, police procedural or even police report kind of way, the rapes and murders of hundreds of women in this Mexican town, which is modeled on Juarez. So, in this first section of the book, right, which seems very safe comparatively, there are moments that feel like they could speak to that later section. There's a couple of characters, close friends who kind of go on a binge of hiring prostitutes, and the one character is not interested in them as human beings at all. He says their job is just to have sex. It's not to have an identity. It's not to to be a human being in any kind of discernible way. And so I find that intriguing, right? We have this character who's looking to kind of erase the humanity from these women that he's encountering. There's a character in the book who is dating a man at one point who describes her as a Medusa and warns these ex-boyfriends of hers to steer clear of her because she poses some kind of threat to them. And so this idea of a woman as a monster, as a gorgon, it seems like it could be important for later in the book, but we'll see. One of the things about the book that really surprised me is I was not expecting it to be funny, but it's very funny at times. And I've marked a few passages, so we'll see if that remains true in the later sections of the novel. But anyway, that's how it's going for me. I've got my Mammoth bookmark in here, which you guys saw a little bit, kind of a glimpse of. One of these that kind of moves when you move it. There we go. That's kind of cool, right? I wish it just had mammoths on it, but there's a saber-toothed tiger down there too in the foreground. But anyway, I hope your own Mammoth reading experiences are going well. Let me know in the comments below how the month is treating you so far. And I will see you again in another video later this week. I just recently passed 800 subscribers, so I was thinking I would do a kind of shout out video and shout out 8 young booktube channels that I think are really deserving of much wider audiences than they have garnered so far. And I thought that would be a fun way to kind of celebrate passing 800. I'll try to get that video up later this week. In the meantime, I will see you guys later. Adios.